Hey, you guys, Krim Jackson, you are live on the set, and I'm going to take you around the world with me. Live a dream as a minimalist CEO. Turning my clients' dreams into reality is what I do, showing that success is truly for everyone. Hey, you guys, I've got new shows weekly. Stay tuned and live your best life.
Understanding why folks are protesting, why they're frustrated, because that is the thing that most people are missing, is that they focus on what they're doing, not actually why they're doing it. This is how America has grown. This is how they have pushed forward for all kinds of rights. It's been through these protests. Before, women could not vote, they couldn't own homes, things like that. They protested, women's liberation, things like that. And a lot of black folks supported them as well. The same as right now, it's not a black-white thing anymore. It's actually blacks and whites out there protesting with us. Also, Latins and Asians, the whole world is protesting with us now. Women's liberation, voting, buying homes, entrepreneurship, all of these things, especially in America, have been done through protest. That's how that happened. And at the end of the day, also, it changes the world. Well, how are you doing, sister? How you doing?
I am well. I am blessed. I'm happy. I'm excited and delighted to be on here with you. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it's very important. If you're going to talk about racism, you cannot exclude history. You absolutely cannot do that. That is where a lot of these things are rooted from that we are seeing today. And so people fail to want to acknowledge and accept what the history is. And so our history determines our future and our destiny. But a lot of times people have a hard time wanting to acknowledge and accept things that are hurtful, because it's an ugly past. It's ugly. Racism is an ugly thing. It's nasty. It's very, very nasty. So you have Civil War, then you have post-Civil War, then you have the Jim Crow laws, right? And so, which starts to create the framing of the systemic oppression. So what you guys have seen, and what people are seeing all across the world, with people wanting to stand up in solidarity with brown and black people everywhere, is they see the mistreatment, they see the injustice, they see the inequality, they see the discrimination, they see it. It's blatant, and it always has been. And so, but what you see now is people saying, you know what, no, this is not okay. No different than what you saw in the 60s when the people rose up and they're like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm so sick and tired of this. Seriously, it's like, wait a minute. Hold up. You want me to live through this? I'm so thankful that you brought me on to talk about this, because I'm very passionate about this subject, if you guys cannot tell, as a Black American. It's nothing, we can't dodge it. And so for all these Caucasian people that continuously try not to face it, okay, because this is what's happening. They're having to face what we face every day.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's uncomfortable. It's no different than when you have a bad behavior, right? As a human, we all have certain behaviors, and we have to confront it within ourselves and say, you know what, this ain't right. Even if this is something you've been doing, something has to change, something has to give. And so it's the same thing. Racism, it's a behavior, because it's a learned behavior, right? We see little children all the time just loving each other, right? Embracing each other. They have no idea that they're different.
When I was in the States, I was successful, Marilyn. I had a home, I had cars, I had a business, I was well connected. But you get to a point where you're kind of frustrated, no matter what level you're on, sister. Whether you're broke or not, you get frustrated because there's a ceiling. And then what happens for me is that my family had international business already, but I was younger. So when I went abroad, and I happened by a business meeting, I had a business meeting about outsourcing my business. And at the time I was outsourcing my printing of my magazines. All I knew was a dollar's worth $50 there. So
right.
I'm paying $100,000 for printing in America, right? So I could pay $20,000, and they were like, yes, sir. And then what happened for me with the racism in business, Marilyn, let me tell you this. I was like, how are all these white people in my business, in my industry with me, who see me struggling to pay these print bills, right? Didn't tell me this is what they're doing. So I did my first publication. I was in California. I had left Kansas City already, lived on a boat. And I said, this cannot be freaking true. Designers laid it out the same as usual, laid it up, sent it to the freaking Philippines. I'd never been to Asia before, okay? So we sent it, I'm like, I don't know where the hell it's going, right? Because before we couldn't email, we couldn't do that. And 2 weeks later, or whatever it was, at my doorstep, freaking FedEx rolls up with a box of my freaking magazine. That is how racism hit me. So then when I came, there was no racism when I did the freaking business. There was no minority supplier council. There was no 3 years bank statements. There was no credit check. There was no security check. There was no verification. Nothing. You hear me? It was the opposite. They were like, oh my God, you're Black American, sir? Oh, you're pre-approved. I said, what the hell are you talking about? You're pre-approved. They billed me for my printing girl. Oh yeah. They sent me 4 or 5 copies to my house to proof them. So I thought Blacks are never treated like this in the States in business. Never. And so I thought it still can't be true. So then I got on the plane and I went and I came to the Philippines. It was the biggest advantage I'd never had being Black American as the advantage. And that was where I really said, I'm sick of it. I can deal with the personal nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with that. When I got to Asia, that is how they receive you. So when you go into a meeting, they like, oh, we know Black, we've seen y'all. It's a completely opposite emotion. And I feel that what you're saying is that in the States, we cannot feel the rewards of all of our ancestors' work because they still keep you in this box. And it's not even racism. Racism in America is fake. The truth is, and I had this on my show last week, it's a fear. It's not even like a nigga thing. You feel me? They're coming from a lower area and they got to pay 3 times, 5 times, 50 times more of their money to even live in the Philippines or Asia. Whereas we're coming from the rich top. So every Black person that has a job working at 7-Eleven or higher would be a millionaire here. So that's kind of the reason they treat us a little bit different. The fear is with them is that when you let Negroes into the NBA, they knew they couldn't play against us. We're the only ones didn't know. We thought that they didn't like us because we were Black. The truth of it is they were weak and they didn't know what the hell. They knew that from watching us in the hood, they couldn't beat us. So they had to be racist. You know, all the things that would benefit you abroad or globally as a company, they can't beat you. They can only beat you in the States because they know there's red tape. They know you can't get a lease here. You can't get this license. They know you can't get this government contract or something. You know what I'm saying? They know certain things. When you got off that plane here, sister, what I saw was, no, baby. What do you think about that, girl?
So I have traveled, but not to the point where I've had that experience internationally. I've only been on like a couple of cruises, but I have heard many of stories, and I have friends who live throughout the United States and other parts. You know, and I have to agree with some of the things that you said earlier on about traveling and getting outside of the United States so that you can have that different encounter and different experience because it is different. It's definitely going to be different. Like you said, that's the way this country has been bred. And you even see like memes that say stuff like racism is so American. You know what I mean? And so I think that kind of hits on to that understanding that like how small-minded they feel like the U.S. is. And you hear it all the time. People talk bad about being here in U.S. You know, just how our people are just uneducated and, you know, ignorant, and the amount of feedback you hear from other countries of how foolish our leader is of this country.
The benefit to him, for us as Black folks, is that the whole world sees it now at the same time.
I have to agree with you.
I don't have to travel nowhere now and explain to them why I left America, what racism is, what white privilege is. I have to explain. They don't ask no questions because they see it. It's more, they message me like, oh man, did you see what the hell happened today in the States?
Right.
You know, as opposed to before social media especially, you had to explain. When you show like the picture of us picking cotton, for example, right? In the historian, I always push those pictures online. I always show that. And I say it more like, look at my grandma, you know, because foreigners see, damn, that was America before. So then they like, what? If we had y'all here, you could build our country too. You could make our music number one too. You could make our sports number one too. You could take our business global. You know what I'm saying? Like they see it completely different than what we see ourselves. And I think that Trump did that for us. If there's any blessing that comes out of this, he's shown how unqualified a white male can be and still get the job behind a super qualified Black man. They see it. And now he's a joke globally. And on our show, I can't play anything of his live on my live shows. Not this one included, but when I was on the radio, my FM show, things like that, I could not play him. In the States, I felt sad about that, man. But how is it affecting your community there?
You asked how it was in the community here with the virus.
You're back now in business and you're getting open and all that, right?
Yeah, so everything has been well. So like for me, I really operate mostly online anyway. I rarely meet with people in person. I don't have to. Strictly just email, phone calls, and I'm writing my letters, and that's pretty much it. Like I can count on one hand how often I have to meet with people in person. And so like technology is just amazing.
Yeah,
if they need to see me, they can video me, and so that really didn't affect me in that manner, because again, the business was already essential. It was already something that I can do. People, we adapt. That's what we do as humans. We adapt really easily to things. And so this is the way it is.
And Black folks, who are supposed to be the poorest, most ghetto, can't do nothing, lazy motherfuckers in the world. We didn't riot or protest. Y'all didn't do nothing until they killed that brother on the street in broad daylight. It wasn't about no food. It wasn't about my rent. My lights is out. Nothing. You feel me, right? Till you killed a few of us in 1 month time, and we already at home board anyway, it blew up. Whereas the world saw them like, wow, they ain't got 2 weeks savings, a month in the bank. They can't figure it out for 30 days, 60 days. Well, we've been on soft quarantine in this third world country since January. My point is, through Trump and the administration and things, what really is going on? And that's the blessing out of this stuff. Well, do you want to say anything to folks out here that do not know why y'all are protesting, or why we are protesting, or they're protesting, so you can explain to these folks, what it is and what's going on, that don't understand what's going on?
We're just coming against the inequality, injustice, discrimination that we experience every day here in America. We experience this in our corporations, in our jobs, okay, and which is another reason why I am self-employed. But we didn't get a chance to get into that, but I'm going to throw that out there. We experience that also in the education system. We experience that with our law enforcement. We experience that in healthcare. We experience it in banking. We experience it in real estate. Okay. And so all of those things. So this is why we are over here protesting, because we want equal opportunities and equal treatment. And we don't want it just to be on paper. We want it to be real. We want it to really be existing. And so we want to dismantle just some systems that have been framed since the Jim Crow era.
Because you guys can support Miss Marilyn. You guys are in the States. I think credit repair is national, right?
It is. It is. People do it all over.
America can call you.
People do it all over. Absolutely. My number is 816-839-4020. I don't have a 1-800 number any longer. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and get one now, since I got people international.
Support Black folks, support Black women doing stuff. This is how she's able to stay home and stay healthy. And like she said, America.
Thank you. And I look forward to just being back with you guys. And I appreciate you. And yeah, thank you. Show the people. Show us how we can move out the country and do what you did. And yes, teach us.
Oh, I'm gonna do it, girl. I didn't think anybody cared. I didn't think anybody knew, but I've been getting so many calls. They've had me doing it.
This is the time now to tell the people, get them to move and migrate. Get the hell up out of here. Alrighty.
Go back and forth. Don't make it so permanent. Just get out for a while like they do. They leave and they summer home. They vacation home. Leave for the winter. But I'm not going to deal with this damn snow. I'm going to go to the tropics for the winter. Because here it's summertime. So it's booming here. Right? But then in the States, you frozen. You slow anyway. So you might as well go to and you doing credit. Bring your laptop.
Right. I will.
So anyway, Marilyn, I appreciate it. Love you much, girl. I want to
love you much. Blessings.
Yeah, I'll have you back on the show. We're talking about your business itself, and we do a business segment.
Thank you.
Hey, local small business owners, entrepreneurs, and celebrities. Hey, you guys, I've got a secret to tell you. Go get that promo. Check this out. K&Co has a new website promo for $350. That's just 15,000 pesos, and your small business can have a fantastic website. You know how the guys are beating you out there, how they're getting customers, how they're online. Despite anything, they can keep going. They can still reach customers. People can still buy, see their stuff. Here, you guys, I've got the secret. They can still do it because they're reaching their clients online with their fantastic website. The promo, you guys, is just 15,000 pesos, $350. You can showcase your products and reach the world. Go get that promo.